Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and this time we've got the pleasure of watching Titan 191 playing in the Tier 10 British medium tank, the Centurion Action 10. And you know what, I have to turn off the user interface just so we can bask in the glory of this vehicle for a moment. But you know what, this tank is not only a looker, it is also a kick-ass Tier 10 medium tank. Now it hasn't been in the game for all that long, introduced I believe in patch 9.10 in October 2015 as a replacement for the FV4202. Now, if any of you played the FV4202 at Tier 10, you'll know that while it was a fantastic Ridgeline Warrior with a hull that was, what are those light tanks doing? I guess Titan's thinking exactly the same thing there as the Bulldog and the RU-251, as seeing who can jump better than the other by the looks of it. But anyway, as I was saying, the FV4202, it had a lovely hull, right? So low profile, that meant that the camera rating on the FV4202 was rather nice. And that's something that is really awful about the Centurion Action 10, is that when I got it, I thought, oh, now I'm a gigantic target. I'm easier to hit. It's harder to hide behind an object such as a boulder or a rock, or to be even to work some little ridge lines. However, the tank did keep its 10 degrees of gun depression, which makes this tank very flexible indeed. In fact, I believe the only Tier 10 medium tank, apart from this, that does get 10 degrees of gun depression will be the Japanese STB-1, with other vehicles such as the M48 and the Leopard, I believe, getting 9 degrees. And so the Centurion Action 10 can still work ridges, but you just got to try and hide so much more hull armor compared to the old FV4202. But as we can see here, you got one dramatic upgrade, and that is a top speed limit from 40 kilometers an hour that it used to have now to 53 kilometers an hour. And so that means that you can get into position much faster in the Centurion Action 10. And when you combine that with a whopping power to weight ratio of 19 and also some fantastic ground resistances, 0.7 on medium terrain, this truly is a mobile medium tank, and it's just so much more flexible than the FV4202 used to be. But it can also hit hard. As we can see, Titan is using the rather dependable 105mm that you would get on the Centurion 7.1 that is just that much better on the Action 10. Look at him putting round after round into the cupola of this FV502. Sorry, nearly had a bit of a malfunction there with my designation of that tank. But the big difference between the Centurion 7.1 and the Centurion Action 10 is the rate of fire. 7 rounds a minute, not 7.5, that would be the SDB1, allows you to just be able to pick apart your opponent so much better. And that is really the key difference between the Centurion 7.1 and the Centurion Action 10, at least for me. I just love that DPM increase, firing an extra 2 rounds a minute. That is dramatic. That's a 40% DPM increase, as far as I'm concerned. So Titan is using that 7 rounds a minute rate of fire that you do get on the Centurion Action 10 to have a whopping game here. We are 3 minutes and 24 seconds into this game, and he has already managed to pick up 5,500 damage. And because of this 10 degrees of gun depression, the flexible turret is allowing him to work this ridge like that 121 can only dream of. That Tier 10 Chinese medium tank is probably very envious right now of the Centurion Action 10 as to how he's been so flexible to just keep firing where other tanks simply could not. Finally, a round enters his tank. Before that, he bounced a variety of vehicles. He bounced the Batchat, I believe, 3 times. He managed to bounce the T-44 that he killed early on in the game, and he even bounced the BL-10, that 152mm monster gun that the Object 704 gets, and not many vehicles are going to be bouncing that. And that is because the 10 degrees of gun depression, angling that upper turret armor so darn well, meaning that it is very effective, and still pretty darn thick as well. But not the thickest. It's not like a T-62A turret, so you still have to be careful in the Centurion Action 10 if you're not using the gun depression. So what a great game so far by Titan, but he's about to make his first mistake. Do you see how he just reverses here to try and get the gun depression to shoot the 121? What he should have done there is not just reverse, and that's because this vehicle gets awful gun depression over its big old fat butt. What he should have done is turned his tank to the side, and that would have been far better and a more effective way of him to be able to depress his gun and finish off that 121. But who am I to pick apart that minor mistake here, because Titan has pretty much carried that eastern flank. He's pushed through it, he's created a graveyard over there, and now he's racing back to be able to defend his own cap circle from some advancing high-tier German heavy tanks. Well, at least a couple of them, because the E100 has done the same thing. Oh, both of them have done the same thing, and they've gone north to attack the E75 and the RU-251 Speerpanzer. And so I guess Titan has seen that right now, and he realizes that he needs to take advantage of the situation, and that is both of the enemy's tier 10 tanks, their remaining tier 10 tanks, are spotted up north. They're distracted. He needs to kill these tanks towards the south before then he's probably going to have maybe a 2 versus 2 engagement with that platoon of E100s. And those are some very good players, guys. This is going to be a very tricky situation. I bet you he's hoping right now that they're going to be on low health. But first things first, he needs to take out this E75. He has a quick look and he goes, his heart drops right there as he realizes that E100 has all of its 2,700 hit points remaining. But first things first, kill this E75. Let's get him down. He's firing some heat rounds now. These heat rounds have got 340 millimeters of penetration, I believe, or is it 330? It is 330, correcting myself, and that is more than enough to be able to go through the turret of the E75 or even in the lower plate. Now, it's dubious whether the APCR rounds, the 268 millimeters of APCR penetration this tank gets, would have been able to go through the lower plate of the E75 at that kind of an angle, but the heat round, fair enough, with not as much normalization as the APCR rounds, 3 degrees less to be exact, but more than enough clout to be able to go through. So, gosh, they are both on full health right now, and Titan had to use a few of his heat rounds to be able to take out that E75. And missing one on the E100, he only has 3 left. And I tell you what, fair enough, he's got 390 alpha damage with his 105mm gun, but 3 heat rounds do not go a long way against over 5,000 health of tier 10 German heavy tank. But a lovely shot there into the T-54 lightweight secures a kill on a tank that you do not want to leave alone in this situation. That is the kind of tank that can harass you, and accounting for the gigantic 150mm guns that the E100 gets will be so much easier having dealt with that tier 8 Soviet light tank. So Titan is going to make his move on the first E100. They've managed to separate, they've got separated here, and he's isolating one. He's working along with the T-32. The E100 finishes off the T-32, but Titan is now able to put multiple rounds into this big, fat German heavy tank. Good shot in there. He's done 1,912 to him so far. Hopefully he will be able to finish off this with the final shell. Yes, great job. But no time to breathe, as there's another E100 coming up over the hill who's on 5 kills. Oh yes, that is just beautiful. Look at this. Oh my word, it's like the Titanic is on an iceberg right now. And the rate of fire, 7 rounds a minute, allowing him to put him in place again just as he manages to put his tracks back on. Another one into his tracks, and the RU-251 Speerpanzer must be thanking his lucky stars right now that he gets a few easy shots into the back of that E100. Titan makes him look just so silly at the end of this game, picking up his 7th kill, denying the enemy E100 his life, which would have given him a top gun, and securing 12,345 damage that we've seen. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yes, it is. Oh my word, this is some kind of Illuminati moment, hey guys. What a crazy result here for Titan 191. This was the highest damage anyone has ever done in a Centurion Action 10, and that was down to his excellent marksmanship, impeccable focus fire, reading the battlefield as if he was a mind reader, and one exceedingly good track shot at the end of the game. So Titan 191 picked up the high caliber medal here for his 12,345 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. 7 kills, you know what, I think he deserved a little bit more than that. He has been robbed, considering that he did over 5 times more damage than anyone else on his team was able to achieve, and he was rewarded for it. 1,632 base experience points, and even without a premium account he was still able to make a profit, even though he did fire those heat rounds. And Titan 191, considering that you didn't have a premium account at the time of playing one of the greatest games I've seen at tier 10, I've got a bonus code for you from TankFest. This will give you an Excelsior, a garage slot, and a day of premium. I'll be sending that to your World of Tanks account. And thank you so much for uploading this on replays.QuickyBaby.com. I thoroughly enjoyed this game, and hopefully you guys did as well. If you did, please consider giving this video a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if this video has sparked your interest in the Tier 10 British medium tank, then simply click through up here or use that more info icon in the top right hand corner of your screen to see a full preview of the vehicle. And let me know in the comments down below how you think the Centurion Action 10 stacks up to all of the other Tier 10 medium tanks. And also guys, just a reminder that on Tuesday there's going to be a dream stream with jingles, where there's also going to be a bonus code available for all that will give you more experience in game. So come along on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby starting at 5 o'clock UK time, 6 o'clock Central European summertime, I believe, for hopefully some great games, great banter, and great prizes. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.